how did you manage the locker room during this time and managing similar to yourself, I guess, people who were incumbents, they've been there forever, they've been putting in the time, they've been putting in the work, and then now some new person comes in and they look like they're going to be the star. Was there anything you did to balance the egos, or was it like they're stars, they're going to be at the top of the card?
No, I was fortunate before I took over WCW, even while I was, an announcer there. The top talent staying, Les Luger, Steiner Brothers, handful of others, were making good money. A lot of guys were staying, and Luger were making great money. Flair was making damn good money. Everybody else was hovering in that kind of better than a real job, but you're not going to retire kind of money. But for a long time before I got into management, there was always this feeling that Turner could pull the plug at any minute on WCW. And it wasn't just a feeling, it was a fact.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people within the Turner corporate environment, for example, on the board of directors or the executive committee, that didn't want WCW. It wasn't a secret in the corporate boardroom. There were people petitioning loudly about pulling the plug on WCW. So there were a lot of talent there. Some of them were making great money. Some of them were just making good money. There was part of them was that, it's Turner, and as long as we're getting television ratings, none of it ever really matters. And then you would hear from somebody on the business side, you'd get the bad news.
Mhm.
And so that was part of it. There was, I don't want to say people were job scared, but they were job aware. But then there was the pride. There was the ego. Guys like
Mm.
Sting and Flair and Luger and a lot of the others, they were going out, showing up at a live event in Baltimore, drawing 600 people, where the WWF was drawing 6,000. Kind of a kick in the balls, right? It's kind of like,
Right.
wow, geez, I guess I'm not as good as my paycheck says I am, kind of thing.
Right.
And that was probably more of the prevailing feeling than anything when I took over. So that when I brought in Hogan, those same people across the board were thinking, wow, maybe there's a chance that business will pick up. They were under guaranteed contracts. They weren't going to make any less money. If they could go out and perform in front of 1,500 people or 2,000 people or 3,000 people or 60,000 people at a Georgia Dome, as opposed to 600 fucking winos at the venue in Anderson, South Carolina.
Right.
So
Is
there wasn't the jealousy that people would expect there to be when I started bringing in some of those big names. Now it did manifest, in time. Once everybody got used to those big houses, all that success, being the number one wrestling company on television, all that stuff they never experienced before, then politics started to become an issue. But in the beginning, it really wasn't.